Hey everybody, welcome out to the Good, the Bad, and the Geeky episode. I didn't put what title. It's going to be 367. If not, math is hard. Before we go further, we have lots of friends and pals of the show. One of the friends we're focusing on this week is Malab. Be original and check out many shows we have coming up, such as Sketchy Pitches. By the time this goes out, I think that we should be available the 17th, 23rd, and 24th. Tickets can be found at madlab.net/tickets.html. Be original. Check out other friends of the show like Pack Rat Comics. Go to gbgpodcast.com. There's just so much. Our official sponsor, but I'm so happy that there's so much.
Hey, Sketchy Pitches is great and people should see it.
That's right. And she's not saying that because I am in it. It is, without me, it's actually
I
really good.
Friday. It was great.
It was really good. We did really good that night.
Or not Friday, Saturday.
Saturday. Not to toot our own horn. Also, our official sponsor of the show is Audible. Over 200,000 titles to choose from, like Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, written and narrated by Neil deGrasse Tyson, as someone on the internet once called him.
Oh.
Or maybe support our pal Keith K. Jackson. It's so weird to call him Keith Keith Jackson. Yeah. He sounds like a pop star at that point. He has books over there. Just look up J. Keith Jackson, and there's no like dash between there. And you can check out, I think he's done like 4 or 5 books. So check them out. For more information, how you can get one of those books as your free audiobook, part of the 30-day trial, go to audibletrial.com/goodbadgeeky. And finally, if you're not able to help keep to date with the world of sports, EA Sports, That One Sports Show has you covered. Join John and Jeff, 2 former sportscasters, as they discuss current topics, obscure sports like shin kicking, historical sporting events, possibly hitting snakes with sticks. I don't know. I just threw that in there because it's fun. And stats you've never even thought up to look up, because that is a real sport, I think, in Ireland. They did an episode on Robot Chicken about that. It's a real thing. In another country where like they smash snakes with sticks because something happened. It's like a thing. And now they consider it a sport. They probably don't anymore because it's bad against animals, but it was at one time a sport. And it doesn't matter. Release weekly, listeners can call to leave rants, criticisms about maybe how there should be more snake hitting sports and new topic ideas like the snake hitting thing at 614-398-3243. It's all been done anyway, so check out That One Sports Show and more at iebdpresents.com. And please support all the programming at patreon.com/iebd. Now, on the show today, we have Amanda Iman, who I still want to call you Amanda Bailey. It popped in my head. Well, it's like Seamus. Brendan, I'm so used to calling him Seamus. So, like, if I'm not thinking about it, during the GBG show the other day, I was like, Seamus, come over, Brendan. Seamus, Brendan, fuck. It was just very bad. Same thing. I think I still have you. Wait a minute. Let's play. Did Nick change Amanda in the phone?
I've been married for
5 years?
Almost 4.5 years.
No. Let's do that now. So we're
okay. Like your wife, I have a Sarah
Lennon
dash.
We'll edit that part out real quick, or just bleep it out. Sorry.
I have her as Sarah
blank
her name
Sports Illustrated. She hates that. Don't check that out too.
Hyphen her current last name. Like that's what I do with all of my friends who have gotten married.
Okay, now Facebook though, if for some reason it still has your old name, which I can't control that.
Facebook has my old name?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, I think it might be like the thing at the top, like what the, so like, or maybe, I don't know. It's weird, but it's changed now in my phone. Yay. So yay, Amanda Iman from.
You were only at the wedding.
I was only at the wedding. Amanda's culture pop a go-go.
Culture Papa Go-Go is one of them.
Yes. Good news is that you'll only drink maybe 2.5 bottles of liquor during this whole episode for the drinking game. You're already down through maybe the first, if you're drinking from a bottle, you're probably down through the neck portion right now. And also, of course, Amanda's picture show Go-Go. And I forget, did I do your Ghostbusters and then you did mine? Is that how we did it? No.
You did my Ghostbusters.
Right. And I'm also on Storks.
You are on Storks.
Right.
And eventually we're going to do Iron Giant.
Yes. At some point. And there's a
I've never seen it.
Oh my God. It's so good.
And that's part of the
at some point,
of that podcast.
At some point, by the way, you luck out with Woosley because Woosley hasn't seen a lot.
I know.
Yeah. He's just like, I don't want to speak out of turn for him. I think he even said, I've not seen Lord of the Rings. I was like, how have you not seen? Dallas has not seen Back to the Future.
Oh, I have a spreadsheet at home. I'm going to be adding
that
to.
That breaks my brain, by the way.
Say, I've got an excellent film for the Columbus Podcast Festival this year that I'm going to be doing that Woosley's never seen. So,
oh my!
Just a teaser.
Oh yeah, and that is the second week of May. Third week of May.
Second weekend in May.
Second weekend in May.
It's
So
a crazy busy weekend.
oh my God, no kidding. Theater Roulette, IBD, and that.
Podcast Festival.
Yeah, jeez. But yeah. So Amanda Picture Show a go-go at amandaagogo.com. Don't you have I feel like you have a third one, or you're working on a third podcast? Or
I do. I also host the Defenders episodes for TV Ate My Brain from Core Temp.
Okay.
And I'm actually, by the time this goes up, one or two more, the last couple episodes of The Defenders should be up or about to go up. And then starting this week, I'm recording Jessica Jones Season 2 for TV Ate My Brain also.
Gotcha.
And I have a couple other things in the works.
And that's all at Amanda Agogo. So AMANDAAGOGO.com. This episode, we've not talked about it at all yet.
No.
Wrinkle in Time, which stars Oprah Winfrey, Mindy Kaling, Reese Witherspoon, Chris Pine. I feel so bad saying this name because Gugu Mbatha Raw. Every time someone says Gugu, though, I forget what movie it was. Someone goes, Gugu the dinosaur, and they're making fun. It feels weird to say that name because my brain just goes to a joke, and which is bad because she's in other movies and she's really good.
Yeah.
What other movies was she?
She was in Beauty and the Beast last year. She played the Feathered Duster.
Was she also the agent in The Accountant?
I haven't seen that movie.
That is, oh my God, good. I watched it on HBO. It was a very random thing. I pulled it up and watched it. They're working on a sequel. It did enough business to, because I think Warner Bros. Didn't put any money behind it. It was because it's one of their low budget, AKA $40 million movies. And no, it's good. J.K. Simmons is in it. I think it's her. I could be wrong. And then, of course, Affleck and Anna Kendrick. But I'm probably wrong. But Rowan Blanchard, a.k.a. the girl from Girl Meets World's in it. David Oyelowo. Nope. Take a drink.
Yeah, Oyelowo.
Oh, yeah. Michael Pena.
I heard him describe it once in an interview. He was like, you have to say oh.
Yellow. Oh. See, that's what I heard too. They did the Wired thing for Gringo. And they did the Wired searches, which is actually can be kind of funny. And he goes, how do you pronounce David Oyelowo's name? He's like, Oyelowo. And then Charlize Theron was giving him shit for it. Levi Miller, I don't know who he is, but he was okay.
He's the kid.
No, I mean, but other stuff he's done.
Oh.
Yeah. Storm Reed, Derek McCabe as Charles Wallace Murray. And then, Zachy G, because I'm good friends. But anyway, we're going to talk about Wrinkle in Time. The movie was directed by Ava DuVernay. And it's based after the 1962 novel A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle. Very, very close. Very close. What is it then?
No, you pretty much got the last name. It was just the first name.
What was it? Madeline.
Yeah.
Fucking French names. Madeline, Madelou, hey, ha, hoo, zabadi, zabadoo, zabada. Anyway, we're going to talk about the possibly wonderful movie that is A Wrinkle in Time. Possibly not. But you know what? We're going to find out. And you know what? There might be talk. Spoiler alert. There might be talk. You know what? I'm thinking there might be some talk of glitter.
We might talk about glitter.
We might talk about glitter.
There's some glitter in the movie.
There's glitter. You know what? There should be glitter in all movies. Could you imagine Black Panther? Which you know what? We won't talk about Black Panther, but in case we did.
No, I mean it's only the number one movie right
now,
but in the world.
But could you imagine a Black Panther covered in glitter? That's Black Panther 2. Black Panther 2. Electric Glitteroo or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Glitteroo. And then you have Kendrick Lamar have like a weird synth sounds, and all the songs just talk about glitter. And then Black Panther. You say Black Panther.
He just mixes a bunch of glitter in with the vibranium.
Glitter bombs.
Oh, literal glitter bombs.
I'm going to record this, brother. Just stand back right there. Do you want me to punch it? Yeah, punch it. Well, don't hit it like a sissy. Boosh, and just glitter goes everywhere.
Yeah.
I call them sneakers. Glitter sneakers. Oh. Here. Oh, I'm helping Marvel right now. We're both helping Marvel.
Okay.
So it's a bomb that's invisible, right? But when Black Panther uses his shades or whatever the fuck the eye holes are, it's like a special visor thing. You see glitter footprints. Invisible glitter.
Ooh.
So you can trace people, And you know what? Or even better, then maybe you throw it in their beard, and then you can just see your mark.
Wait, glitter beards?
Glitter
that
beards.
Like a fascinating topic.
That sounds like a fascinating topic. And you know what? We may cover all this. Maybe barely any Wrinkle in Time. I don't know.
Again, could be a great
could
movie.
It could be a great movie. Maybe. But check out to see if that's the case or not. Episode 367 of The Good, the Bad. It's Amanada Iman, who I changed into my phone. Yay! Roll the theme song. All right, so in this episode, as you heard in the intro, we have Amanda from Amanda's Picture Show A-Go-Go and Pop Culture A-Go-Go, which you can find at amandaagogo.com. Culture Pop A-Go-Go? Did you change it? No, I just have always bad memory. But you can find out all those at amandaagogo.com. All right, so, Wrinkle in Time. That says everything I think that we need to say. Let's start off with how beautiful the film looks. It really is. It's pretty.
Very pretty. There's too much glitter. I came directly from seeing. You saw what?
We saw it yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. And I had date night with my husband last night.
That's what it was with my wife.
Not want to see A Wrinkle in Time.
Well, my wife, God love her, she doesn't like the book when she read it when she was younger. But the trailer, she's like, the movie might change my mind. And I never read the book because the cover I saw growing up, I liked Ray Bradbury horror because it's more like psychological, but the cover looked like a weird, and he's not in the movie at all, but apparently it's what they really look like, which is they're like half man, half horse, or half woman, half horse with weird wings, centaurs with wings, no normal arms. Mm-hmm. That's what their true form is. They're not in the movie. And to me, it's like, it's nightmare inducing. And I'm like, that's weird. And that looks like a horror book. I don't want to fucking read that. But then everyone read it growing up.
So I should tell you, I did read A Wrinkle in Time growing up. I loved it growing up. I went through a period in middle school where I read every single book that Madeline L'Engle had written. Okay. And I was like obsessed with it. Like, well, with all of her writings and stuff. And I thought about rereading it before seeing the movie, but I thought, no, I just want to take the movie at what the movie is. Like, which, as you should. You should. Because whenever I read something or reread something right before I watch it, I'm just, the whole time I'm like, well, in the book, like in my brain. Yeah. And so I am weird and I prefer to... AKA any comic book movie ever for the comic book nerds. It's like, there's over 30 years of history here. Why didn't you not do this? Yeah. They could have totally done this storyline. I try to, I want to look at the film for what it is. And then if I haven't read the book, then I get a richer experience later. Or in this case, there were still a couple things where I'm like, wait, where's that character? Yeah. Like, where were the twins? Oh, the older twins, right? The twin brothers that are in between... Oh, they're in between her. In between Meg. Sarah told me she thought they were older than Meg. And so I was just like, they're younger, but they're in between Meg and Charles Wallace. And is he older than in the book than he is in the movie? No, he's a little kid. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, he's a little kid in the movie. Oh, they're between them then. Sorry. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so it's like if he's 3 or 4 and she's 15, they're probably like 8 or 9 or something. 13. 13. In the book. Okay. And the twins are like 10, and they're very like rough and tumble boys. Like, they're not hyper intelligent in the way like Meg and Charles Wallace are. Okay. And also, Charles Wallace is not adopted. No, he's not adopted, and I don't quite understand. I wonder if that was less like he's the best actor for the role. He's adopted. Yeah, because honestly, as far as child actors go, I thought he was the best child actor. What? No, this is where... So, we will disagree on something, because I thought he was just horribly miscast for, like, the stuff what happens to him, because he's the bad guy, unintentionally. Thanks to Mr. Red?
or
Red Eyes.
Mr. Red Eyes / the It, which is they're kind of the same, but they're not.
He's like a puppet of the It,
which
I don't understand why they had to put strings on him at that point.
I like that because that to me, okay, so when someone else was telling me about the book, I was like, this sounds like the cover. It sounds nightmare inducing. This is going to be a beautifully awesome film. And the only part that made me go, ugh, like that was when he sits there with the puppets and then he just falls apart as he's talking. Okay, and that was a little,
when he fell apart and like his legs were flying everywhere, that was just
right. Weird. And I'm just like, why? Okay. Yeah. So this movie, man, it's just so frustrating. Okay. So with filmmaking, and I don't know if it's like this one in the book either. In basic filmmaking, there are just general rules. So, for example, a perfect screenplay and the movie is actually pretty faithful to the screenplay. Is Back to the Future, where like the structure is set up really well. Like I'll say this: I hate the Phantom Menace, but the story structure at least makes sense. Everything pays off. It's boring as fuck because who knew Jedis would be wrapped up in bureaucratic bullshit?
Are you saying that
the Phantom Menace
Trade Federation bureaucracy is not a fascinating movie? I'm stunned.
Well,
stunned.
Here's the thing, and I know what he's trying to do. Look, it's hard to do the Gusenstag or whatever the fuck Hitler did, and it's hard to really condense that down. It's very complex, and I know that's what he's trying to do. It's boring as fuck all. And granted, if you look in the grand scheme of things, you're like, damn, that's fascinating. But it's boring as shit in how it's presented because Lucas is not a good storyteller or director. But structurally, though, you still go, it makes sense. Things pay off because they pay off. Well, at least in Phantom Menace. Everything else is in their story. But I'm watching this, I'm like, apparently, I read the synopsis of Wikipedia, and they talk about how Mrs. Whatsit is moving in, and George Wallace, but she just kind of appears, and I'm just like,
yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Like in basic structure, they set things up that pay off.
So many plot holes in this movie.
Oh God. It's little things too.
Shows up, I'm just like, wait. Like, we didn't have enough of a prologue in this movie yet to even know these characters and care about them.
Well, the only one they gave you the prologue for was the dad. Yeah. Really, True. It's because they want you to, honestly, okay, so I also want you
to swoon over his dad beard.
Which Chris Pine is pretty dreamy. I do like
all about that little bit of gray in his beard.
I think they're also trying to make you really, really, really like him, so when he lets George Wallace fucking suffer in what's it called? Charles Wallace, whatever
George Wallace is a politician.
But he is,
in the 60s.
But he wasn't great.
No.
Just like Charles Wallace wasn't great in the end of the movie because he got taken over by the It. But no, he lets him suffer there, and at the end he says sorry to Meg about, I'm sorry that I left you behind years ago. Fuck the Wallace boy. Fuck my adopted son. But no. My wife had a huge problem with that, and I didn't think of it. I was like, that is actually really annoying now I think about it. So he's like, I'm really sorry for leaving you, but not Charles Wallace.
I wonder if part of his apology to Meg was
meant to do both.
Was supposed to be also like, not just I'm sorry for leaving you a long time ago, but like, I'm sorry I tried to leave behind Charles Wallace also. You know, like
well, as the wannabe filmmaker, I could tell like that's what I think they were trying to do because it saves time. You just say I'm sorry, and that's a encompassing blanket apology. But it's just like, no, you left your adopted son to kind of just and you didn't know when you would be coming back. You said you'd be coming back, but you didn't do a good job coming back last time.
Well, to me, it's like, okay, yeah, he was trapped, and to some extent, like, what made him find his, like, based on what it's showing in the movie, what made him find his frequency to be able to tesserate.
Tesser?
Yes, Tesser.
Which, cool.
Was him, like, having this burst of love watching his wife care for his adopted son.
Right.
And then he got trapped. But he also, like, they go to the first planet and they're like, and then he took off and kept looking at other planets. It's like, why didn't he go back home and be like, oh my God, honey, guess what I just found?
See, this is okay, yeah. So they never, like, and again, it's just very simple stuff that, and I have to, man, and I hate to say this because I'm so glad that there are two black directors, our number one, number two spot in America right now is Black Panther and Wrinkle in Time. Ava.
Oh, for this past weekend.
For this past weekend. But I'm just like, but the movie is so flawed that it makes me feel sad because I wanted her to do better.
See, I was having this conversation with my husband yesterday.
Yeah.
Jeremy, who has been on your podcast.
Yep. He was in the Godzilla one. Yep. With Jimmy and I. Yep.
Yep.
We were both drunk.
Yes. I was at a family thing and he was like, babe, I'm drunk and I did a podcast with Nick. Like, awesome, babe. So
good times.
He and I were talking, and again, we had a family birthday yesterday, and we were doing date night afterwards, and I was kind of running down, and I was like, if you don't want to see A Wrinkle in Time, that's fine. I've already found a backup time that I can go tomorrow before I go to record with Nick.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'm not hearing good things. And he was like, and it sucks because I know, like, the director, this is, like, the first time a woman of color has ever had like a big, huge, like tentpole movie at over $100 million budget, and I was like, yeah. Here's my thing. I don't think she was the woman of color director who should have been given that. Ava DuVernay. My feelings about her as a director.
Yeah.
The 13th, her documentary that she did for Netflix in 2016, is fantastic. It is a great.
But it's a documentary.
There we go. And I was talking to Jeremy about this. I'm like, but Selma was like the last big movie that she directed. And in general, I liked Selma. A lot of people were like, oh my God, she was robbed because she didn't get a directing nomination. I don't think she deserved a directing nomination.
It's visually not stimulating, that movie. No. The performances are.
I will never give up on saying that David Oyelowo was robbed in not getting a nomination for his performance.
Did you know he's in Wrinkle in Time? He plays it. Just the voice, that like the 5 lines that it has. Yeah, at the very, very end, where it's like mixing out of Michael Pena into Charles Wallace into a weird voice that's neither of them. Because I was like, well, that's a cool voice. And now Wikipedia tells all.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I love David Oyelowo, and I've watched him since he was on MI5, the British.
Oh yeah, with where Hugh Laurie guest starred. But who was the one guy who played Mr. Darcy in the BBC TV movie? That's the guy that everyone loved. His character walked into the ocean, never was seen again, and it was their way of saying he might have killed himself, but he probably just retired. He was in
Darcy in the BBC adaptation. He was Darcy in the 2005 Keira Knightley.
Yeah, he was Darcy at some point in his life. No, the BBC version was at Firth.
Trust me, I know my Darcys.
I love Colin. I love me some Colin Firth though too.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but
yeah.
I like David Oyelowo. He was robbed for Selma. Ava DuVernay was not. I don't think that she is a good narrative director.
This proves it.
I really liked the 13th. I honestly probably would have voted that for best documentary if I had been a member of the Academy.
But I also feel like Selma made sense. Like I didn't feel there were any major structural problems with Selma.
That's true.
That's
true. But there are hardcore I feel like she is such a fascinating and interesting person, and I like the things that she says herself, like publicly, and interviews with her are really interesting.
Yeah.
But I do not really like her direction of things unless it's a documentary. And that was something, Jeremy, when we were talking, he was like, yeah, but documentary direction and editing is so much different from a drama or something. And I'm like, precisely.
Well, and I do wonder if they made her do like a demo reel or something else. But honestly, though,
I think
all these studios are
Oprah.
Oh, Jesus.
And Oprah did not act in this movie.
Oprah just did big Jesus arms throughout the whole movie. And it was really annoying because I thought that was a joke just because that's what they focus on in the trailer is the big last supper Jesus arms. Also, and again, this is poor directing, and I don't know if a part of it was saving money for budget effects, but like at one point, she's wearing a costume. It's when she's really big and they land on the planet. She already has a second outfit on.
Yeah.
And then like they pan over and they're focusing on, oh, how wonderful Reese Witherspoon is, that she's a weird plant thing. Fucking stupid. And then they cut back in the background. Clearly you should see giant Oprah at some point and you don't see her. And I was like, it's a budget thing. It has to be a budget thing. But now she's wearing a different costume. I was like, is she wearing a fucking different costume? And
okay.
it was really aggravating.
While we're talking about that, sequence. I don't understand why there was so much time seeing the kids ride around on Plant Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, but Amanda, you need to set up seeing the big, scary, dark cloud, which could have been done in 5 minutes. I mean, that would make sense and save so much more budget. But let's just spend a lot of money on a plant like Reese
set piece.
The whole thing is a digital.
It went on and on and on. And sometimes I will look back at a movie and be like, okay, I can see where they can cut time. This actively, while watching, I was like, I don't understand why I'm watching this.
So
right now.
I was so bored during all of that, and there was nothing there that was useful except for just saying, oh, that's Kravadassus, wherever the it lives. That's the it,
yeah.
And that's bad. AKA, it's the nothing and the heartless. If you want to go Kingdom Hearts, it's. Ooh, I mean, this came out before any of those.
Before that, like the book was written in the 60s.
But movie-wise, it's not.
But yeah, well, I know. And also 1962, the way that it was illustrated and like basically coming out like it's dark roots reaching for you and hands and stuff. I don't know. Even, they clearly spent so much money on all the digital effects in this movie that I don't think were that great. And we're derivative.
Like from reading Wikipedia, I literally, and I really still feel this way. Like, do they just want, like, that movie should have been? It could have been like, okay, I don't like the movie a lot because it has its own issues, but like Return to Oz.
I love that movie, but it's crazy weird.
It's crazy weird, but like it does have a happy ending. It's just it's messed up how it gets there, but it's kind of terrifying. Yeah. That is what that whole thing. And also. Did your theater show a lot of Christian movie in front of it?
It didn't. No, it showed a bunch of really shitty kids movies coming out.
We saw a bunch of mostly like we saw God's Not Dead 3 trailer. We saw I Can Only Imagine, which I don't give a fuck about. And then even though that probably will be a good movie because you can't go wrong with Dennis Quaid? You can't go wrong with him. Well, you can go wrong with Randy Quaid. Which is sad because he was a good actor at some point in his life.
He just got real crazy.
He did, and started doing weird porn movies online, streaming. Which because I'm fascinated by that, so I watched one. I was like, this is god awful horror. I mean, it's not even good porn, but like, you're fucking nuts.
I'm glad you took the bullet to watch that.
I'm here for all of you. Well, actually, what happened was they were talking about Charlie Sheen, like people who went off the deep end, and they sent a link to it, and it starts off with him just kind of shirtless, like doing like a manifesto, kind of like what Charlie Sheen was doing, and then he's like, and now I'm gonna have sex with my wife, and then you're just like,
what?
And then it was just, you're just like, dude. Anyway, Dennis Quaid, way better. But they showed a bunch of Christians, and then apparently that's the thing too, is that the original book there's a lot. It's technically like her C.S. Lewis's / Tolkien.
Well, that's the thing is
Christianology, science, emotion, how philosophy, how it all comes together, and they're all. And I'm like, I didn't get that at all from this movie.
No, you don't pick up on any of that from this movie.
I wanted it
because
so badly.
That's part of the thing. You know, I was much more religious in middle school than I am now.
Yeah,
but I mean, the fourth book in the series, like the Time Quartet, technically quintet now, but Many Waters is the twins.
Oh, is there a series of books that she's written and these are all tied together?
Yeah. That's the other thing. I don't understand why they didn't include the twins, because Disney is all about a fucking franchise. And if this had been made well, there's a chance the other books could have been made into movies. And I'm like, why would you not put characters in this that are literally the main characters of the fourth book? And like they hang out with Noah. So there's a lot like in this series. And there's also stuff with Meg and Calvin end up getting married later on, and like their daughter has adventures, and there was potential for Disney to have another franchise that would be female led and would inspire young girls, and instead
they made this piece of shit.
Squandered all of that. And that's what makes me, as like a lover of film and a woman, and like on my podcast I do a whole series of the celluloid ceiling about female filmmakers. And my friend Justine and I who do it, like we struggle every month to find good material for us to cover, unfortunately. And we're trying to like highlight good movies and show like what's out there and try to break that celluloid ceiling. And I feel like this movie is going to make things go backwards because there was so much pumped up about it's Ava DuVernay. And what is it? Jennifer Lee, who wrote Frozen. or directed Frozen, was one of the co-writers on this. Like, it just is. She needs to go back. I thought,
do another draft. Oh wait, too late.
Because I didn't even like the screenplay. I thought so much of the dialogue was just bleh.
Well, and again, that's just basic setups, like the whole thing. And granted, I think someone who read the book recently, reread the book for the movie at Mad Lab, I think it was Randy Morgan. She was just like, it is kind of weird how, what's the kid's name?
Charles Wallace?
No, Calvin, who's played by Levi Miller. I remember the actor's name, but not when Calvin shows up, he's just like, I was just kind of drawn here. Like they said, it is kind of weird like that, but they further explain it later, and it's better and it makes more sense. And in the movie, it's just like, I was just kind of drawn here, and I don't know why.
It doesn't make any sense why Calvin shows up. And
it feels forced, way more forced than it probably.
And every time there's a connection between Calvin and Meg in this movie, it feels incredibly forced. And it's like, look, they're just going to stand real close and look at each other weird.
Now, I thought they had good chemistry together. This is where you and I differentiate.
Yeah.
I didn't like the kid who played Charles Wallace because I thought he was cute and precocious, and then when he turned evil, I didn't feel it as much as. But the other kids, I was like, I just feel like the dialogue's really horrible, and she's not directing them well because, I just remember like. The moment they get on the planet, I'm not gonna say it right, Cravatzis or whatever, starts with a C, even though you think it starts with a K.
Yeah.
That when they get on that planet, the movie starts picking up a little bit, but like that's the thing. I didn't mind the actors who played the kids, except for Charles Wallace. It was just how horrible the dialogue was, how horrible everything was set up. Like, as a matter of fact, I actually was mildly. Zach Galifianakis gave me the only emotional core of that whole fucking movie. When he sits there and sends her off into whatever La La Land to show her how it's infecting everybody, I was like, oh, I'm tearing up a little bit, but there's none of this is really earned.
Okay. If this is supposed to be a movie that is all about female empowerment...
Why is it that Zach Galifianakis is the one that makes you...
Oh, also, wait. Why is he a man? Because the character in the books is a woman.
That's pretty shitty.
Like, why? So you could use Zach Galifianakis because you're friends with him or something? Like, I didn't understand that. But the only I can totally see how that being an emotional core. The only time that I felt kind of emotional was when the mom and dad saw each other at the end.
I did see that too.
That is because Gugu Mbatha-Raw and
Chris Pine
are good actors.
And it
actually had nothing to do with their characters and all to do with when I see two actors and being someone who is married and like if I had not seen my husband in 4 years, that idea of like seeing them see each other and run to each other. And actively I'm like, this has nothing to do with the story really and everything to do with these actors are good at playing these emotions.
See, I do feel that, but at the same time I'm also like, oh my God, this movie just needs to end. This needs to end. And at that point, I was also starting to get very vocal out loud, which it was just also like the dialogue was just so like what was at one point, Oprah is again doing big Jesus arms. They're all doing big Jesus arms. And she just goes, the Tesser, it uses energy that surrounds you all around you. It's through everything in the universe. And I was like the Force. And Sarah's like, what did you say? This movie's just so boring. I'm just trying to not fall asleep. What did you say? I was like, I'm making fun of the movie. What? Just never mind. Just, yeah. But it happened multiple times. Like things like that happen. I'm just like the fucking oh my God, just shut the.
Which again, the book was written before all of that.
I know. It just makes me so sad.
I feel like there are ways that you could.
The whole movie could have been so much better.
Write it in a way that it doesn't just sound like it's derivative of the Force. You can film it in such a way. I want to get back for a second on how much I hated Ava DuVernay's direction in this because why was basically everything
I don't
was just
like you.
It was just everything was like a fucking close up. I don't understand why I had to constantly watch Reese Witherspoon, Oprah, and Mindy Kaling open their eyes. How many times did I have to watch a close-up of them opening their eyes?
Do you think that's also a problem with modern filmmaking, though, where newer directors, like even Nolan, like when he did the Batman movies, he focuses, or all of them do, it's not just him, they tend to focus on close-ups. Now, granted, she didn't have shaky cam for some of them when during some of the action sequences. I use quotation marks because action sequences, but some of that stuff was like when shit was happening, they would close up on their eyes and camera was still, but like I feel that that's in general framing. They go for the close up versus the establishing shot or the wide shot, unless it's like very CGI heavy, so they can go, ooh, look, we have a lot of money and it's visually stunning for the kids. But
part of it for me was, even if they did a medium shot with two characters in the same frame, you are seeing them react to each other instead of a close-up of somebody reacting to the former close-up of the last person and then another person reacting to that.
And it's not even...
It doesn't make you feel attached to the characters.
Who did the spaghetti westerns with Fistful of Dollars or Fistful of Dynamite, depending on which version you go for? The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Yeah.
Clint Eastwood was the star.
But the Italian director. Remember that his big thing is Sergio Leone?
Yes.
His big thing is that the close-ups, but it's all done with precision. That doesn't even apply in this scenario.
The editing in this movie was shit.
But it all comes down to the directing. The editor can only give him what he or she's worked with.
That's part of what I was thinking is as it just kept going and we got the only wide shots were for CGI stuff, and like every other time it was mostly close-ups and not nearly enough like medium. And I kept thinking, I do think there are editing issues, but I don't think she got the shots that would have made this a more dynamic film.
And I've never, I don't have time to listen to commentary as much anymore, but I used to. Like, I remember listening to the commentary for Gremlins, and apparently there is a 5-hour cut of that movie because he was an editor for Corman. So he shot as an editor, which means you're like, let's cover every angle we can. It takes way longer, but he had everything. He actually had way too much that he needed. And I just remember when I was reading how-to books, there was like, film, you always want more than what you need, unless you're Spielberg, but you're never going to be Spielberg because Spielberg is Spielberg. And even that's up for debate on how Spielberg is Spielberg anymore. Though, as of yesterday, everyone lost their shit about Ready Player One. Yes. And everyone was, half of the people walked in going, I want to see it, but I don't have good feelings about it. And it was like, it's amazing.
I'm so excited that comes out my birthday weekend.
Spielberg. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm way more excited about the trailer I saw for that than I was for
Jesus.
For this.
Oh, did they show a really bad kids movie trailer about the dog who was in the army?
No.
Oh, we saw ours at Marcus.
Okay, I went to Dublin AMC.
And the Marcus one they showed, and the thing is, it wasn't even it didn't even look like a trailer. It looked like it was an ad, but it was a CGI cartoon ad, and it's just like he would do everything with his master. He would even leave whatever, but it didn't. It just wasn't. It didn't even sound like a trailer. And there wasn't even like the really bad DreamWorks or Disney like coming from the producers of whatever. It's none of that. And then it just cuts to a title card saying, this summer, Sergeant Rough and Ready or whatever. Oh. And it has like, oh, fuck. I just remember the girl who played Bella Strings. I can't think of her name. She was married, not really, to Tim Burton. Helen, yeah. She's like one of the voices in it. And I was like, oh, so this is a UK production. Is this why the trailer's so shady? No, wait, because Early Man looked like a fucking professional movie trailer released by people.
Early Man is also from Wallace
Ardman.
Like,
well, right, but like still, they know how to make a fucking trailer.
Well, yeah, I mean, trailers are a whole other thing. Like, the filmmakers don't get to do that, but
it was bad.
Speaking of trailers, I felt like so much of this movie it reminded me
it was
of
in the trailer.
Suicide Squad, in the way that they're just continuously making, like, the way it was edited and the way that it was presented.
Oh, it's like, one giant trailer.
It's one giant trailer for itself. And I'm like, but then we never got to the meat of the movie. It never felt like we were getting anywhere.
No, yeah.
It just kept feeling like, look at how pretty these outfits are. Look at this makeup. This is going to be a great movie, guys.
Like, that's the other thing. Okay, so let's talk about this. There's no world building. The whole movie should be world building, but there's no world building. There's no real clear explanation of the rules. And when they do happen, it happens all at once. And it's all from Oprah. And I don't give a shit at that point. Because you're right. It's not Oprah. Oprah's just being Oprah.
I've seen her act. She's fantastic.
She is
in the color of purple.
I did not care for Mindy Kaling, and I was actually looking forward to Mindy Kaling because I think she's a good actress.
I felt the same way, which I think also shows bad direction. The only one of the misses that I felt like was really giving us anything was Reese Witherspoon.
And that's not, but see, I still don't feel that's saying a lot though, because I feel she's just like, I'm taking a paycheck movie.
It just
wink.
It kind of felt like she was like, I'm just gonna be kind of sassy.
I'm sassy because but that's the other thing too. They don't really I feel like, again, poorly set up. I feel like I've seen another movie lately where the character is otherworldly and they don't have a grasp of humanity and how to react. So they don't understand sarcasm or just general niceties of being, I can be mean to you when you're not looking. But it's just like, they can hear everything you're saying. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, but they don't set that up really well. So it's just like, oh, you're a dick. And I don't really, and of course at the end, I'm sorry, I'm leading up to the part where she's like, well, I knew you would do it. And it's like, no, you didn't. Bitch, you were laying at her the whole time saying she's going to fail. Charles Wallace, why did you choose her? I don't think your sister's ready. Yeah. I just flipped her off. You guys can't see that. It was very, thank you. The whole movie just very frustrated me. So I will say that, no, she was the best out of all of them, but still.
I feel like out of the three, she was the best.
Yeah.
And that, with the child actors, while I said I thought maybe the kid who played Charles Wallace was the best, I felt like all three of them were being misdirected.
Oh, yeah.
I don't feel like any of them gave the performance that they probably could have. And
you know what I just realized? I feel like her direction was, and I know this wasn't what the direction was to Charles Wallace, and maybe this is why I feel like he was at an 11, and he should have been at a 9 when he was being evil. I felt like, okay, so you remember in Hook? Because this is what popped in my head, because I accidentally brought up Spielberg. So the part where he's just like, grabbing Robin Williams' face, pour one out for the homie. And he's just like, there you are, Peter. And that kid goes up to like an 11. He's like, I don't blah, blah, blah. But here's just da-da-da. I feel like that's him for the entire last half of the movie. I'm just like, no.
Like, there need to be more shades going on.
A little bit more. Like, when he first became evil, or also like why you wasted Michael Pena.
I
like him so much. I felt like that was such a waste
of his. There was going to be more of him. Yeah,
something he
was the most interesting, like, I don't know, magical, mystical character.
Like, was he somebody that at one point was then captured by the It and then was manipulated? That's what I'm saying. Like, I would like.
I'll admit, from the book, I don't remember that part.
Because Charles Wallace is technically a puppet. And if Charles Wallace stayed there for years, which is, I'm assuming, what happened to him, would the same thing happen to him where he would just fall apart? That's fucking terrifying to me. That would be a great visual to think about. They never.
I mean, from what I remember from the book, and it's been a long time since I've read it, there was a lot more world building.
Yeah, it had to be.
You understood stuff, and and it was revealed to you in a very natural way, but I feel like with this movie, you're instantly like, wait, what? Where? Why is this happening?
They also really relied on the whole, let's just tell you how weird she is.
Instead of showing us. Oh, you mean film is a visual medium?
No. I mean, mad props for Disney utilizing Reno Roland from Girl Meets World.
Oh, Rowan Blanchard.
Rowan Blanchard. That's good. Good for them.
I thought, she's still on a Disney contract, and they canceled her show, which was actually a really sweet show, and I was pissed off that they canceled it.
It was a good show.
But, yeah, I was like, oh, she's still on a Disney contract. But I also feel like...
She is, though, on the Goldbergs, which is Sony.
Oh, is she?
But, ironically, the show is on an ABC network.
Disney.
But it's owned by Sony outright. That's the weird thing. So, at some point, that show's going to be way too expensive. Anyway... That's weird. But no, yeah, because she's Adam's girlfriend, which when she showed up, I was like, oh, her show just got canceled. Makes me sad. Aww. And then I was like, oh, no, she's staying around. It's not like a one-off. Oh, yay. Okay, that was like, yeah, she's still on it. That was last season, and they're on this season.
I'm way behind on the Goldbergs. I kind of gave it up, and I've been hearing...
It's aggravating. Well, no, the reason you stick with the first season is that you're like, it's nostalgia. And then at some point, the moment when they started making Lainey and Barry a thing, and you're like, oh, they know you're making fun of how bad the whole thing is. Like, look, Adam, I know I said you're an idiot like I do all the time, but I love you because you're my son. They do that in every episode, but they make fun of it kind of.
Oh, okay.
But you're really paying attention to every, I don't know. It's really weird. I don't know why, but I am now like
invested.
I'm fully invested.
No, okay.
Also, I just love some of the weird acting choices every actor makes. And also George Segal. You can't go wrong with George Segal. Like he's to the point now, he's so old that they don't really show him standing up anymore. He's always sitting down, but it's still always really funny. Like, what are you doing, Adam? Why are you doing? Don't listen to that. Oh,
Nick is making a face while he does this voice.
Yeah,
it's glorious.
It's George Segal. Oh, sadness. Well, I mean, the dude was dressing up in like full on costumes to do Adam's movies.
Yeah,
and he doesn't do it, or if he does do it, it's always like a medium show. So I wonder if he's just sitting on a stool and do. Well, I mean, he's like what, 80 or 90?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Take that, Carl Reiner. Oh, I feel sad. Carl Reiner's amazing. Okay, Wrinkle in Time.
But yeah, Rowan Blanchard. But see, also, okay, so yeah, she's in it. I like her.
The teachers.
Her bullying at the beginning, I'm like, it was just so cliche. And if you're trying to sympathize with Meg, honestly, I just felt like, well, these are kind of bad bullies because they're bullying and saying, "Hi, Meg."
Hi, Meg.
Everybody say, "Hi, Meg."
Hi, Meg.
Like, that's not bullying. That's being weird.
Well, okay, even if it's a trope, like, why not set up that they were friends? Because it's clear
they're neighbors, which is okay.
That aggravated me too. I'm just like, oh, this is even worse now. They should totally have been friends, and at one point she just shut down, and that's why one of the reasons why she picks on her.
They make it seem like they're in middle school.
Right.
And she also, Meg, even though the character in the book is 13, she seems younger in this movie. But you do often have that thing where you've been close friends in elementary school and you fall out in middle school, so that could work, but they don't follow up on any of that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's little things like that. That is actually a great example of little things that are introduced. Like, also, they show you the teachers kind of being petty, and Charles Wallace hears it, and that's neat. And then it ties in. But then when they show the it part, and it shows like how there's jealousy and all this other stuff from like the one teacher that was being petty about Charles Wallace's parents or dad.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know. That seemed weird.
It's out of place. But I'm saying, like,
I feel like they were trying to set up more with the principal a little bit. I mean, partially they cast Andre Holland in that role. Who
wasteful.
Right? It was such a waste of his talents. And now I might have to go home and watch Moonlight just so I can be like, oh, there he is. I love him.
Quickly cast him because he was in an Academy Award-winning film. No one gives a shit if he was actually, that his role was shit.
Again, the principal comes back in later books. So, like, I feel like to some extent, right? I just don't understand.
God damn it, Disney.
I don't understand. So much of this didn't make sense. And I feel like Disney did such a push on this movie. They essentially put an advertisement for it in the Oscars. Like within the Oscars telecast. And it's just so disappointing. And one of the things I was talking to Jerry about yesterday is he was like, I've heard Disney in some ways is worried they didn't put enough time in between the release of Black Panther and this, because Black Panther has been out for, 3 weeks, and it still beat A Wrinkle in Time at the box office?
Yeah, I hate to say this, but, I mean, the movie's not good, so I don't feel bad at all.
Right, and that's the thing.
I'd rather have a good movie being with Black
Panther's a really good movie with so many amazing points and messages going on, and the acting and the directing, and that is fantastic. And I also feel like you can look at those two movies as examples of a good Disney movie and a bad Disney movie, but also in the way that I feel like this movie is very much going, hey, look at our hair and makeup, look at our costuming, and it doesn't work.
We have money to blow on CGI, people.
It doesn't work, whereas hair and makeup and costuming in Black Panther is fucking amazing.
And it's more subtle, too.
It is more subtle. Because seriously,
so aggravating.
I was like, I don't understand why all of the Mrs. W's have glitter all over their face. And then at the end, when Meg is able to test her on her own, and she's going through, suddenly glitter's pouring out of her eyes. And I was like, I don't understand why there's so much glitter in this movie.
Here's the question. We need to talk with Ava. And like, when you have dreams of fairies or time travel, does glitter explode everywhere around you? Do you want glitter to be on people? Are you fascinated by glitter breasts? And then you're just like, let's throw glitter on the eyes. Let's throw glitter everywhere. I don't know. It's the only thing I don't understand.
Like, I'm almost surprised there wasn't glitter, like a glitter beard at one point.
Ooh, a glitter beard.
Right? Those are fun.
They have money for that. It would have been useless to the story, just like fucking everything else in the movie. Why not a glitter beard? You know what? Wrinkle in Time 2. Attack of the Glitter Beard. and it's not
Michael Pena back.
Michael Pena's back. But this time he's controlled by the power of glitter, which is the stuff in between the wrinkles and the tessers. Whatever. The wrinkles in time, it's between the wrinkles, so it's even smaller than that. Okay, also, this is the other thing that's aggravating. I remember reading the Wikipedia entry, and I was just like, I feel like she was talking about what they kind of cover and what you could say they thus was doing an homage to from Wrinkle in Time, which was in Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the was it the flea and the tightrope?
The tightrope, and then the puncturing through the
the plate. And I'm looking for something like that too. They didn't go into that really.
Well,
not really.
The other thing is there was voiceover in a trailer that was talking about this is how my father had this theory that time travel worked this way, and there would be wrinkles and it would fold in on each other.
Where's that at?
That wasn't in the movie.
Well, now I do wonder because sometimes the directors will I know Gareth Edwards fucked with people during Rogue One. That really awesome shot where she turned around, the lights go boom, 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 and she turns around and gives a badass superhero look. That was a goof. And then he goes, that looks cool. We should put that in the trailer anyway. And people are like, where's that shot at? And he's just like, don't worry. It's not part of the major stuff we cut out. It was a goof that I threw into, yeah.
I don't mind when things
are put in for the trailer. Yeah.
But that is a line that actually would have helped along the world building and the understanding of the movie.
But would it have fixed everything though?
No.
We would have need 30 more lines like it.
A little bit.
Instead of raging against the movie fully, we wouldn't. We you know what? It would have stopped the glitter beard comment from happening. It would have.
I don't know.
No, that's true.
It
was yeah.
I've been trying to convince Jeremy to do one for several years now.
Jeremy, don't do glitter beard, Bo. It's all. It'll be all up in there. You'll be like years later. You'll be sitting there like just trimming it, and glitter will just start pouring out of it. Yeah, don't do it.
Just glitter out the side of
it will. You'll actually nick yourself, and you realize the glitter got stuck in the pore, and now it's like mutated, and it's just glitter rainbows coming out of your. No. Okay. Other things good in the movie. Chris Pine.
Again on beards, that was a
Chris
sexy
Pine.
beard. He looked.
I'm
really
struggling
nice.
so hard to find something nice to say about the movie because it's just not good.
Well, we open with it. It's kind of pretty.
Yeah. Yes. Even with the glitter, very pretty. Oh, okay. I'll also say this too. I also feel like they gave very explicit instructions to Mindy Kaling on what she should and shouldn't say, and she's just like, "I like Chris Tucker. Can I say damn by Chris Tucker, American?" And they're just like, "Sure, go for it." And I'm just like, "You lost me."
Well, okay,
and then they I think they later added Outcast, and
I feel like you could, if this were a good movie, do like a whole analysis on the quotes being used and like what it all meant. But I feel like they were just so random, and they were supposed to have meaning, but it didn't exactly feel like there was meaning.
It's just something like, oh no. Okay, so let's play. Wait a minute, we have time. Let's play a quick game of how we could have made this movie officially better. So starting from the beginning, I would actually focus on what's her name moving in, and then later that night and the kid, the little brother, Charles Wallace, is obsessed with her, and that he just disappears, and and she's just like, well, that's weird. You set that up. And then at the same time, there's a storm coming. Ooh, a storm. And then in the storm, you get the flashback of the dad, setting up the dad stuff. It's just so taxing to even think about this. We've already said it. It makes me sad, though.
The setting to the original setting, which is New England, instead of LA.
I'm good with that, too. You don't need LA.
No.
Fuck LA. That is a price choice, I think.
That was something for me, like, as a fan of the books, that I was just like, this setting seems so wrong. Like, the production design in the house felt right. But the setting of it, like...
Everywhere else, yeah.
They lived in New England, and from how I'm remembering it, they lived on a good parcel of land where, like, they had a garden where they planted stuff, and there were other things going on, and there was, like, space between neighbors, not right on top of each other. There were no palm trees. As soon as I saw palm trees, I was like, no! This is wrong!
Oh, also another thing to set up is that, actually, that's how you find out that what's her name is Mrs. Whatsit or whoever, Reese Witherspoon is moving in. Is as she's like walking home or from taking the kids to the walk, he runs into the old black man, and he's like, why do you always just randomly talk to people? Like, that should be set up like right away. And then when he talks to him later, it makes, or even have him just say, sometimes people need to be talked to. Don't you shouldn't just shut everybody up. I mean, granted, again, that's walking you over the head with it, but it's still better than how they did it, which is, what's the thing is, your faults are your greatest strength. Oh, is it because that she has darkness inside her too? Oh. And I'm fine with that too, but the way they even did that was just...
It was so telegraphed. As soon as it was like, I need you to know your faults. And I was like, oh, because they're going to save her.
Yeah. And like, also, I kind of felt like if you're going to try to do a Tolkien scene where everyone gets gifts, let everyone get the gifts, and then give it to Meg because Meg knows what to fucking do with it. Like, let her be like, you're not doing it right. Let me do it.
Well, and that's the gift giving thing is like, takes place at a totally different time and place.
In the book, yeah.
And so at that point, it does make sense that they're giving it all to Meg. But at that point, it doesn't make sense that, like, Mrs. Whatsit is giving her gift to Meg when she has definitely been, like, closer to Charles Wallace the whole time. So why is she like, I'm going to ignore you, child. I'm going to give my gift to you instead, Meg. Like, it felt weird.
This whole movie. Just to even do this exercise is taxing on me. It's taxing on my soul.
Because to me, I would start at the beginning and hire somebody else to write the script and hire somebody else to direct. And then
I was trying to go with, technically, we could write a better movie of the Wrinkle time, but I'm just going like, this is so taxing to even do, though, because they've messed so many things up.
I'm just so disappointed because I wanted this to be good.
I did too. I didn't know anything really about the book except for that weird book cover. And even then, I'm like, well, that isn't always like, they had a weird book cover for The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. It doesn't really say anything about the book, though. It's just a really cool sci-fi painting that they did. So I figured it was the same thing. I really wanted to look forward to granted, it makes me want to read the book now, like a whole lot more, but for the very wrong reason, which is, because it'll be better. Not because it should be, but because it just happens to be better.
Yeah,
which sometimes,
you're not like, you liked this movie and now you want the even richer experience of reading the book.
Yeah.
You're just like, I need a palate cleanser.
I need a fucking palate cleanser of how horribly done this movie was. And I expected so much more from you, Ava.
I'm so disappointed, and for so many reasons. And part of it is, unfortunately, the way that Hollywood works is this movie isn't working, and the reviews have not been great, including ours. And unfortunately, though, the way that Hollywood works is they'll be like, I don't know if we can have a woman direct a movie like that again. Which is bullshit.
It is.
Just because this didn't work doesn't mean how many white men direct shitty movies and continue to direct movies. Michael Bay.
But here's the thing. Michael Bay's movies still make... Now, granted, the last Transformer... This is... I call this the Bay paradox. His movies suck, but they make a lot of money. Now, granted, the last Transformers movie actually did bomb. And then people walk out and go, that was a horrible movie. But then, but you still saw the movie in the theaters. $9 that you saw at opening weekend. You contributed to its success. Yeah. Why do you keep doing this? You are letting the man win. And it's not... Yeah, he's
that's fair.
I fucking hate Bay. I fucking hate Bay.
I don't know. And I was reading, based on how much marketing they did for this movie would need to gross $400 million to even break even.
It's not going to do that.
No, it's
at least, well, I mean, it could internationally, but it's not going domestically. At least, it's not Black Panther.
It's not
Black Panther just passed 1 billion.
I heard that yesterday.
Worldwide. I'm like, oh my.
Look, I've seen it twice already. And I would Jeremy and I were talking that if we did go see a movie yesterday, we may have gone to see Black Panther again.
I've seen it 2.5 times. The third time was I was up all night, and then AMC Dublin showed 1 and 11, but that's the only time before I did as I've been busy at MadLab, it was the only time I could see with my mom and dad. And I always want to see a Marvel film with my dad and my mom. And usually Sarah gets to go with me, but I mean, it's one of the things where we didn't have time. It was literally, I had to go during the day. And so literally, I just remember the Marvel thing came up. He lands in Africa. I wake up and it's, my eyes just kind of blink back open. And his sister's just like, I'm recording this for prosperity. I'm like, oh, I must have nodded off. And then I wake up again and it's, baby, don't hurt me, which that's the fucking weirdest part of that movie. But it's so funny. And then actually I know it's the very end of the movie where, the man ape shows up. That's not his name in the movie, but that's the character he's based after.
Baku.
Ed Baku shows up and
he is also a handsome man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Also, which made me sad because I really wanted to see my dad's take on that whole scene where he's just like, if you say anything else, I will feed you to my children. And then they're like, oh. I'm kidding. We're all vegetarian. Like,
oh my God.
That was such a great.
That's a really well written movie.
It really is. Okay. Now I have a question. Did you, the weakest part of that movie for me, and I felt something else was cut, was the scene with the guy from Get Out and Black Panther, like his kind of turn. But
thank you. My podcast episode isn't out on that yet because I have to finish editing Thor first. Life got weird.
As it does so often, yeah.
So I'm a little behind. But no, that was his character's turn was my biggest.
Well,
I feel like there needed to be an extra scene.
So he does say at the beginning of the council thing, and the second time I saw it, I was like, oh, he is kind of aggressive about which he's like, if you want me to do this, I'll do it. Like he seems like he wants to do it.
Yeah.
But then he's like, I don't because I trust you. You're my brother. And then so it was more forgiving, but I feel like there was another scene that got cut.
I think so too, because Daniel Kaluuya's character, I talked about this, and I was told like, oh well, I think it's because of his parents. I'm like, yeah, that's not enough reason for me. His completely turning not just on T'Challa, but on his country as a whole, and he goes and starts fighting everyone. And I was like, why are there no repercussions for this?
I think there are because he's not really in the council scene at the end. Baku has taken his place. They don't focus on it, but where he's usually at, Baku's in his stead. I mean, but if that's the weakest part of that movie,
no,
yeah, and it does create again, I didn't think it was just about the parents. I really did feel like, and this is there's a great shirt going around, and I really want it. It says Killmonger was right, and I really love it. It looks like it was spray painted, and Grant, Killmonger was right. It's just he was wrong about how he was doing it, and I think that's. Which again, maybe one more scene where they talked about that was a little bit more would be nice, which is he believes Killmonger is right too. It's just that he's willing to do whatever, but they don't talk about it. So it's like every Star Wars fan's best dream. It's like it happened in between the scenes or in between the movies, you guys.
It's interesting that I know now this is the Black Panther point 2.
We have to because it's such a Wrinkle time. No one gives a shit.
Like Wrinkle in time, I'm done. Let's go see Black Panther again.
I'm fine with that.
Too bad you have to go to work.
I know, yeah.
But his character, Daniel Kaluuya's character. He goes and he's starting to agree, like with Killmonger, and he like gets behind his let's go and militarize and everything. But he's the one in like the first act of the movie who says the line to T'Challa about, well, why would we let immigrants in? They'll bring their own problems. Like refugees bring their own problems and we don't want to deal with that. So it's just interesting.
But Killmonger doesn't want people to come in. He wants to take over the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like that actually kind of goes against your argument a little bit because of that. But it's still not 100% clear. But again, I still feel like he has one of the best emotional parts of the movie when he's fighting his girlfriend, and he just looks around. He's like, "Wait, violence isn't the answer. My brothers and sisters are dying and fighting each other," and he just puts the weapon down. And I was very moved by that. But
I was like, "Why did it take you this long to figure it out, you idiot?" But,
yeah, well.
I mean,
but T'Challa, he doesn't have the power of the Black Panther anymore. He got it taken away. No, he didn't. Actually, though, that is weird that there is no other Black Panthers because in the comic books, his sister does take over as Black Panther for a little bit.
I feel like Black Panther 3 will be like Search for the Flower or something.
Actually, okay. I'm going to blow your mind here. I think Wakanda's huge in Infinity War because I think the vibranium is the cause. Vibranium is one of the stones, the initial fragment, and then it mutated into what we know as vibranium. But it's buried in deep within Wakanda, which means Wakanda's going to get fucked up. And then also, I feel like that's the cause of the flower. Also, did you know, Casey said this, did you know that, and I didn't know this, but it's true, the intro is not by T'Challa's father. No. It's by Sterling K. Brown, and that blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, I didn't realize until the second time. But then I was like, wait, that's Sterling K. Brown's voice? Oh my God. Because
right.
The first time through, I just assumed that it was T'Challa and T'Chaka, and then the second time I was like, oh. And,
can we point out though that he's not really good at naming people, or whoever. And if it was like Tamala, T'Chaka, T'Challa, maybe change it up just a bit. I mean, I'm not going to call my kid Slick or Flick or Dick. Well, Dick could work, Richard, but still. But that's what I'm saying. That's how kind of weird it is. And I know, Grant, and I'm doing a grave disservice to African names, but it feels a little weird that it goes like that.
And it has to do with like the culture and the heritage.
I know, that's why. But like joke wise, I'm just like T'Challa. Really, maybe add a little extra there. No, I know. I'm fucking around.
I don't know.
It's still good.
I think it's also, I mean, the way that names formed, like in the European way, there's so many things like, why is Johnson such a common name? Because literally they were the son of John. So they were just
also, Johnson is another word for penis. And that is a lot of fun to say. Just randomly go up and say and go, Johnson! And just walk away. Yeah. Don't, son of John. Johnson, son of John.
Your last name's Miller now. Why? Well, because you're a Miller. So, yeah. I don't know. I also find, like, name origins fascinating, but I digress.
Okay. I got a riddle for you. Where the fuck did John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt came from? Because I hear his name is my name, too. Oh, no, but that is a good... At some point, someone that probably was some real person's name, and they go, let's make a song about it. And then it's like... and it's like... There you go, Lisa Kudrow. Do a fucking show about that. Where are you from or whatever? Where's John Jacob Jingleheimer?
Oh, yeah. I forgot she did that.
Yeah, and I think she still, because that one didn't do great here, she started producing the one in the UK, and it's still going. And they're now dipping their toe into the American actors again.
Like that.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei has a great-great-grandfather who may or may not be a serial killer rapist. Stay tuned for more. Actually, I think that might be true. I know. Martin Sheen has someone similar like that, and like it was very.
I watched some of
heartbreaking.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. So, fun fact: the Pack and Ratcliffe we just recorded, which won't be out for 7 more months, was based after my love for the movie The Way, which was directed and written by Emilio Estevez and starred Martin Sheen, actually, and Emilio Estevez, about the Camino de Santiago. And I would love to go on that thing because I really fucking, like, I greatly enjoyed that movie. And I was just like, it's just such a fascinating thing. And so, yeah. But Martin Sheen, so we wrapped it back into Martin Sheen, who then I watched a video on talking about it recently because why not? Where he talked about his family and doing that thing. He's like, it's really amazing how all your family's connected. And because he talks about taking the name Sheen versus Estevez. And he's like, but on my driver's license, it's Estevez.
Yeah, because Sheen is just his stage name.
And Charlie, and they're very polite to Charlie. Emilio is the one that cuts in to Martin. He's just like, well, Charlie just does what Charlie wants to do. And but at the same time, I didn't listen to agents and whatever because I didn't want to. And I think Charlie wanted to. And so, because Martin talks about how he was pressured into taking a different name. Oh. And so I think Charlie might have listened to people, and Emilio just, he was that teen who didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He never cussed at all. I like to point out, this is me exaggerating a little flowers,
You're
but
paraphrasing.
I'm paraphrasing a bit. And then he gave a beautiful speech about 2 cathedrals, and that's a West Wing joke.
I've seen that episode.
So Black Panther was really good.
It was. Go watch that movie instead of
Wrinkle in Time. By the way, the wire work, I'll throw this out there too. Whoever thought it would be... Now, did Zach Galifianakis' character, even though it was a girl, did she do the weird thing where she was like balancing shit?
I can't remember.
Not like typical bouncing, like Karate Kid bouncing. I'm talking about where she comes walking in on her hands. Because I was like, that was some beautiful wire work for fat man Zach Galifianakis.
I know that it was a woman, and I know she lived in a cave, and I can't remember beyond that. Like I said, it's been a real long time since I read the book. A woman who lived in a cave. That sounds, again, way more fascinating than what was done. Right?
The only thing really visually stimulating about Zach Galifianakis is he looks svelte. Mm-hmm. Not as like Mark Hamill svelte. But still. But he had that beautiful choice of the weird little, looked like he was tagged for meat market. in the back of his ear.
Oh,
yeah. It was like an earring, but it looked like he just got like a staple on his ear. And it's just like, we're taking Zach to market soon.
But that's, again, with like the costuming in this, I feel like they're like, look, we're going to try to do as many interesting costuming things. And instead it just felt like too much. And not.
But he was the most plain of all the costumes. It felt like he was a fucking Jedi Knight who was just being like, I don't have a robe and shit. I just have weird pauper bags.
Because Oprah was constantly wearing a different colored giant ring that I was just like, I don't understand why that's there.
I do wonder if Oprah just woke up one day and is like, Ava, girl, I'm going to wear this ring today. Okay, you're magic. I'm assuming that she banged her head like Charlie Brown against the tree, which in this case is our microphone, because I don't. Oh my God. So Wrinkle in Time is in theaters. You're good with skipping it. Black Panther is good. Anything else is really good we should tell them to go see in theaters right now?
That's in theaters right now.
Anything is better than Wrinkle in Time.
I've heard Game Night is good.
I have not seen it, but I heard it is too.
I'm going next week with Kayla.
Nice. Oh, Kayla will be in town? Yay.
Yeah, we're going to
do a
podcast for mine.
Good. Well, no, Kayla, I love Kayla.
I think she's only going to be in town for one day to come see that movie with me because we've been trying to plan it for a while.
Oh, Kayla.
But,
by the way, we signed up for her anniversary party. We signed up for, I was already in Pottermore, but my wife was not. And my wife was like, you just do it for me. I was like, it's way more in depth than I remember it being. And like,
updated it.
No, they did. And so, by the way, I'm fucking Ravenclaw.
I'm Ravenclaw.
I don't want Ravenclaw. No, I'm not high-fiving that. No offense. I'm high-fiving you for good for you. Not what I wanted fucking Harry Potter's house. I wanted Gryffindor. Yeah, I wanted Gryffindor. Because that's where all the cool shit happens, and they're always the heroes. Ravenclaw's not really the heroes in the big stuff.
Smart and we read books.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I know. I'm such a... No, let me rephrase it. I'm Hufflepuff, and Sarah's Ravenclaw. And Sarah was like, she just seems like, right? I was like, I'm just grumpy about it. I'm just grumpy.
And you're Hufflepuff?
I'm Hufflepuff.
Well,
I don't give a shit.
And my sister Addie.
Oh, well, good for them. I'm glad. And here's the thing. They probably are very pleased that they are. I care so. I want Gryffindor, goddammit. As a matter of fact, I want to fucking retake it. But you know what? The Sorting Hat won't let you. Because fuck the Sorting Hat. Matter of fact, you know what? No. Where's Dumbledore? I would like to be resorted. Because you can do that, but he has to do some weird shit. But of course, Harry then was like, I don't want to do that. I like the house I'm in because then he made friends forever. Fuck that house. Fuck all the houses. You know what? I'd rather have Slytherin than fucking any of the other ones. I want it to be, it's not fair. Also, I got a shitty little sparrow bird for my Patronus.
Oh, I haven't done the Patronus thing yet.
Sarah got a stallion. And I'm like, what the fuck?
So what this really comes down to is you're jealous that your wife's getting all the better stuff?
Well, Patronus-wise, yes. I mean, well, okay, Ravenclaw is better in my mind than Hufflepuff, so that's good too.
I can tell.
That's good. But funny thing is that I've had the Patronus for a while. She just got her Patronus. Okay. it was one of the things where she's like, "What's yours?" And I pulled it up and I was like, "It's fun." And I clicked play, and the little bird came out. She's like, "Yours is so small." I was like, "Thank you."
I'm looking through the IMDb to see if there were any cast members that I was like, "Oh, I wanted to mention them." Apparently, somebody is listed as Air Force officer. I didn't even realize there was an Air Force officer in this movie.
Oh, no, there was. There was a bunch of them. It was during when Chris Pine does his meeting with NASA. Oh, and there's a bunch of people, and there was probably one guy who probably said something that didn't. Oh, fun thing I just realized about Spider-Man Homecoming. Ready for me to blow your mind? It's not in that podcast either. It is that the principal is the great-great-grandson of the guy that was in the Howling Commandos. Oh. Same actor, too. I was watching it by just default the other day because Sarah got it for me for Valentine's Day. I wasn't, when you watch something enough, or you've seen it enough times, you're watching it, but sometimes you're doing other things, or you pay attention to a part of the screen that you don't normally pay attention. So you should be paying attention. Your visual vocal point should be Peter and maybe the principal.
But you're looking around at other things.
I just stared up at the corner of the screen. I think it was the right-hand corner of the screen, and it's a wide shot of through a glass in the principal's office, and on like a file cabinet is a picture of an Asian man in the war, an American costume, and then there's a picture of the Fighting Commandos. It's small enough that you can see it, but it's like Captain America, Dum Dum Dugan, and him. And I was just like, it's all connected.
Oh!
Yay, Marvel.
Yeah, they're doing better than A Wrinkle in Time.
Point is, everything. DC is possibly doing better than Wrinkle in Time, and that is a bad thing.
Look, Justice League, not a good movie. It still made more sense than this.
Phantom Menace made way more sense than this movie. That's okay. On the way home, I was ranting because we were both talking about it, and I kind of just went on this weird rant. I was like, it's so goddamn frustrating. Like, bad movies are better than this movie because structurally they make sense. Like, okay, Maleficent, except for the weird wing thing at the end, makes more sense than this movie. Yeah. Structurally. The wing thing is the only problem in that movie, and I will, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how better Maleficent is than this fucking movie.
I didn't really like Maleficent.
And I didn't either.
Like it better than this.
Yes. So congratulations, Phantom Menace. Maleficent, you are now better than another movie. Thanks for listening. Amanda Gogo.
Yeah, AmandaGogo.com. That's my website.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll be subscribed to both our podcasts, and ciao.
Bye.
Get out of here without cheese! You're a creep! Go away! We're having a good time until you showed up, cheapers! Go have some coffee with cream or something! Because I'll tell you something! This is a happy place!